Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki Jai. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Why do we celebrate Thanksgiving in North America? I don't have to talk to you about that. You already know. What I would like to talk to you about is why a devotee should celebrate Thanksgiving. Someone who believes in God. Why should he celebrate Thanksgiving, or how should he celebrate Thanksgiving? The very word Thanksgiving has a meaning in it. We give thanks, we feel grateful. We do give thanks to our family members, friends, even strangers, when they do a favor for us, when they do something for us, when they help us out, we say thanks so much, thank you. And even these words, thank you, a lot of times we just say them as a habit. They don't mean anything. We just say thanks, thank you. When we give thanks to God, we must give it from the heart. And in fact, we don't need to say anything to God. We just need to feel it. We need to feel the gratitude. Why should we feel grateful to God? Because without God, we would not exist. Our life is given to us by God. The fact that the soul that lives within the body, that soul energizes the entire body, alo nabhya anakhebhyah. Alo mabhya anakhebhyah. Chandogyopanishad says the entire body from head to toe is conscious due to the presence of the soul within the body. And that soul, how is it that it is conscious? The body is not conscious. It's only as long as the soul is intact and within the body that the body seems to be conscious. But when the soul leaves, we call this the phenomenon of death, then we see what the body is all about. It feels no pleasure, it feels no pain. It feels no happiness. It doesn't feel anything. It doesn't feel the heat, it doesn't feel cold. Because it is jad, it is insentient, it's lifeless. Because the life has left, the soul has left. All right, but what gives consciousness to the soul? We don't think about that. But the Vedas tell us, Chetanas Chetananam. God gives consciousness to the soul. The soul is conscious because its consciousness has been given to it by God. We give thanks to Him because He gave us life. We give thanks to Him because He gives us food, shelter. He gives us a mind with which to think about the higher truths of life. We are grateful that we are not in the body of an insect, bird, animal, a plant, or a tree, or even a devta in the celestial regions, devta in Swargalok. Because all these creatures, including the devtas, they can perform all various actions, but their actions do not bear fruit. We humans are the only children of God to whom God has given the opportunity to perform actions that bear fruit. Imagine that we are practicing devotion to God, we are loving God, we are crying to Him, and we don't get the fruits of our actions. And we can never reach Him, which is the aim of our life. So we must be very thankful to Him for giving us this life as a human. We do thank Him for giving us enough food to eat. We thank Him for giving us a good family that we were born in. We thank Him for giving us birth in a family full of believers. We were not born in an atheistic family. We are grateful to God for that. We thank Him for all our material possessions that we have. But we must also thank Him for trials and tribulations in life. We don't generally think about that. But let me thank God for the problems I have in life. Thank you, Lord Krishna, because I have this problem in life. I have a severe headache. Thank you very much. I lost my job. Thank you. My wife left me. My kids don't want to see my face. Thank you. He would say, this man has gone crazy. He lost his family, he lost his belongings, he lost everything. He's thanking God? Kunti had prayed to Lord Krishna, my Lord, I beg you to give me problems in life. Deprive me of wealth. Deprive me of respect from others. Give me disrespect. Let people disrespect me. Let me be shunned by society. Let me be deprived of material possessions. She says this because that we tend to think of God more when we have problems in life. I myself have come into contact with many people who had no connection with God. Nothing. Zilch. Don't invite me to satsang. Don't waste your time and don't waste mine either. Those kind of people. And then something happened in life. Maybe many different scenarios I have seen. One is that they lost their money, so they became more humble. And so they were forced to turn towards God. Another is, I'm thinking of someone who started suffering from depression, so she was forced to think about God. We must thank Him for the trials and tribulations in life. And I don't mean to say that He gives them just so that we may feel thankful to Him, just so that we may remain humble. What I mean is that when we have these problems in life, these are results of our previous actions, of previous lives, and also actions of this very life. Why are we thankful to God then? Because He gives us the fruits of our actions. He bothers to give us fruits of our actions. He bothers to give us fruits of virtuous actions, sinful actions, and devotional deeds. For this we ought to be very, very thankful to Him. As Jagatguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj puts it, Sri Maharaji used to say, did you pay anything? Did you give a payment to Sri Krishna for living in your impure heart? He's living in the heart. He lives in our heart, a very impure heart. We are thinking nothing but worldly thoughts all day long. It's hardly ever that we are thinking good thoughts. It's hardly ever that we are thinking about God. Most of the time we are thinking about the world. We're thinking about material goods, material people. We are thinking about the world in general. And God still lives in our impure heart, and He takes note of each and every action. And He gives us the fruit of those actions. We don't give Him any payment. He does this dirty job for us. For this we ought to be very thankful to Him. There was a very devoted man, and one day he went to the temple and he spoke to the priest. He said, Panditji, you are living in the temple and you must see God every day, right? The priest was taken aback, but he said, yes, I see God on a daily basis. Really? The man was very, very impressed, and he was a very simple-hearted man. So he said, Panditji, would you ask God a question on my behalf? Sure, I will see Him later on today. I will ask Him. Please ask Him if He likes the way I pray to Him. That's it? Yes. And what time shall I come tomorrow? Panditji gave him a time. You can come back and I'll have an answer for you. Well, that man could not sleep all night. He was tossing and turning. He was so excited that he's going to get an answer from God. Does God like the way I pray to Him? Well, next morning he rushed to the temple at the assigned time and he said to Panditji, Panditji, did you ask God the question? Did you ask Him? Yes, I asked Him. What did He say? He said that he has never liked any one of your prayers. Shri Krishna said He has never liked any one of your prayers. And hearing this, the man started to dance with joy and he started shedding tears. He started crying. And the priest was very confounded. He thought, why is this man so happy? Maybe he didn't hear me. He said, hold on, stop dancing. Wait, listen to me. I said, Sri Krishna said that He doesn't like any one of the prayers that you ever uttered before Him. He doesn't like the way you pray to Him. He doesn't like the way you've ever prayed to Him. And he said, yes, this is what makes me so happy. And the priest said, have you lost your mind? No, Panditji, don't you see that I am an insignificant being and He is the Lord of all lords. And yet, whenever I have prayed to Him, He has listened. You see, if he had not listened to my prayers, How could he have decided that he doesn't like any one of my prayers? That means every time I pray to him, every time I sing bhajans and kirtans, every time I do puja, he is taking note. He's noticing me, he's listening to me, he's watching me. How can I even thank him? He's always looking at me, always noting my actions. Like this simple-hearted man, pure-hearted man, we must have faith that God is always, always taking note of our actions, and he is so merciful that he's giving us the fruits of our actions. There are 3 graces that are the greatest graces, and they're given only by God to the individual soul. These are the human form of life, a desire to know God, and a guru. And we have received all these 3 graces. We have received the human form of life, there's no doubt about that. We have received the second grace in that we are curious about God. We do want to know about God. We do like to hear about God. Not all the time, sometimes. That's good. Thirdly, we do have a guru guiding us. We do have access to a guru. So Adi Shankaracharya says there is no 4th grace. This is it. If you receive these 3, you are the most fortunate. Maharaji used to say, there is a 4th grace that you can bestow upon yourself. And that is to realize that you have been graced in every possible way. That's the 4th grace. Just to realize that God has graced us in every possible way. Today we celebrate Thanksgiving. You know about the pilgrims and all that. You know more than I do. Because many of you are students, you're learning about all this, American history. But I have tried to tell you about true Thanksgiving, the true meaning of Thanksgiving. We give thanks to God because we do tend to forget that He has given us so much and that He continues to give us every second of our life. And so let's be mindful of all the graces that He gives to us and has given to us and will continue to give to us. Let's just think about it, preferably every single day. If not, then once a week. If not, once in a while. Let's think about what He does for us and let's be truly grateful to Him. He doesn't care for a verbal thank you. The words mean nothing to Him. What He does care for is our heart. So if we express our gratitude from our heart, then that's good enough. Of course, He will give us all His graces, He will give us many of His graces, even if we are not thanking Him. For instance, He will still give us water, He will give us oxygen, He will give us food stuff, He gives us so many free things, He will give us that. But the main graces that we want from Him, human life once again, we want the love for God. We can't get those graces from God until we become mindful of Him and truly bring Him into our lives and thank Him every single day. बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की, बोलिए करुणा सागर की.